My name is Andrew, and after divorcing my wife, I moved from the small village where we lived with her parents to the bustling city. The move was very hard, but I was determined to rebuild my life. I quickly found a job at a large company, thanks in part to my aunt, Margaret, who worked there until her retirement. Margaret was well connected and her recommendation carried weight. The head of the plant, Victoria, was a longtime friend of hers, and that connection proved invaluable in getting me the job. At first I stayed with Margaret in her modest apartment. She lived alone and welcomed me warmly, but it was clear that this arrangement could not be permanent. Getting from her to work was difficult, especially on night shifts, and I didn't want to abuse her hospitality for long. After about a month, I was offered a room in the company dormitory, which was only a 5-minute walk from work. The convenience was undeniable, and I gladly accepted the offer. I moved in quickly, eager to have my own space and simplify my daily routine. Checking into the hostel went smoothly. The room was small but adequate, and I was proud to make it feel like home. A few days after settling in, something unexpected happened. As I was getting ready for my shift, Victoria called me into her office after most of the staff had left for work. She spoke directly and matter-of-factly. "Andrew," she began, "I'm going to need your help this evening. There's an inspection tomorrow, and we're throwing a banquet for the inspector. My driver, Stephen, will pick you up later. You'll help me make sure everything goes smoothly." Her tone was authoritative, but not rude. I agreed without hesitation, wanting to make a good impression. Toward evening, Stephen drove up to the dormitory and knocked on my window. He directed me to another dorm building that I had not entered before. The room we entered was spacious and well-furnished, probably reserved for special occasions or temporary guests. Victoria was already inside, as well as a heavy-set man who I quickly guessed was the inspector. The table was laden with drinks and a variety of appetizers. Victoria and the inspector seemed to be having a good time, their laughter filling the room. I took a seat next to Victoria, trying to assess the situation. A few minutes later, another young man named Tom appeared. He was about my age, with a friendly demeanor, but just as insecure. We exchanged a few words, commenting on the atmosphere, but our conversation was soon interrupted. Victoria stood up and bid the inspector a graceful farewell, beckoning Stephen to escort him to the exit. Her movements were deliberate, and there was a confidence in her that was hard to miss. As soon as the inspector left, Victoria turned her attention to me. "Andrew," she said with a hint of a smile, "why don't you show me how you've settled into your new place?" Her request felt more like an order, but I complied and led her down the hallway to my room. As we walked, she intertwined her hand with mine, a gesture that struck me as both possessive and intimate. When we reached my room, she stepped inside and gave it an appraising look. "Not bad," she remarked, "but there's room to strive. You could have arranged things much better if you wanted to." Judging from her tone, she had something specific in mind. Intrigued, I asked what she meant. Victoria's smile widened, and she stepped closer. "It's simple," she said, her voice low and deliberate. "Become my lover. Are you ready for that? I know I'm older, but I'll take good care of you. You'll have everything you need and more." Her offer stunned me. I froze, weighing my options. Refusal could jeopardize my job and my dorm spot. On the other hand, agreeing could keep me safe and comfortable. I glanced at Victoria, appreciating her confident demeanor and undeniable charm. Despite her 50-odd years, she was strikingly attractive and held herself with elegance. Finally, I made my decision. I sat down next to her, put my arms around her and kissed her. She responded warmly, her smile growing even wider as she realized I had accepted her terms. That night, we shared an intimate moment on the couch in my room. The thin walls of the dorm probably meant that our actions didn't go unnoticed by the neighbors. Victoria, to my surprise, was full of energy, defying the expectations associated with her age. From that moment on, our relationship took a new turn. Now my life has changed dramatically. I live in a cozy apartment that Victoria rents for me, and my salary has increased significantly. I no longer have to worry about financial hardship or job security. Victoria keeps her promises, and I have come to appreciate her presence in my life. What more could a man ask for? Comfort, stability, and the knowledge that someone powerful is taking care of me is more than I ever expected.